welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. This is the card we're making first, and this is card number 1. Thank you so much for joining me here for this video. Now, the inks that I'm going to use are listed right up there. You want to get your supplies, and it will say card number 1, supplies to make 2 cards, or something along those lines. I put the supplies in envelopes like this, and I close it up with a little bit of a post-it note, so you can take that off and reuse these envelopes, hopefully for other things. That way it's hopefully we're not wasting things and stuff like that. So that is the reason I do that. If you open up this envelope, you will be able to pull out your supplies that you will have for card number 1. And we have 2 of at least everything. So we've got the inside pieces here, some vellum, the 2 pieces that have the sentiment and help to accent the sentiment, and then 2 bases. I have cut them in the size that you need, and I've actually scored it already for you. So the first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and score. For this card, I'm only going to make 1 of them for you. You also have a half sheet of the grid paper in the packet, and you'll also have a thing that says envelopes and extras. So if you open that up as well, if you haven't already, you'll see that there are some Stampin' Dimensionals in there, a half a sheet. There are some pieces of the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive backed dots for you. So they'll be in different packages. They won't all look like this. This is when I use up something from Stampin' Up, I keep the plastic bags so I can reuse them. So you'll have 2 lines of each of these to use on your projects. This card, I did not put any of these on this card, but that's up to you. It's your project. If you have extras at the end and you want to use them, go for it. And you will have 18 envelopes to use, and you'll want to decorate them any way that you'd like. And you might want to set 2 aside and decorate them while you are doing this card, while you have the ink on the stamp set and you're using it up. So that's what I've got in there for you. So I'm setting that aside. And did I mention that there will be 2 pieces of vellum? I don't know if I did or not. These are 3 inches by 3 1/4 inches. So let's get started on making the card. I started to go ahead and do that by using the bone folder and making the score line nice and tight. So what I'm going to do is begin with the inside pieces. It's just the easiest for me, and that way I won't misplace them. Use whatever kind of adhesive you like. I have a tape roller. Maybe you're a glue user. That's up to you, whatever you like. So a little bit of adhesive onto the green piece. And all the measurements are listed on the PDF that you were emailed. So you'll be able to recreate these cards if you want to. It's up to you. And maybe use a different stamp set, different colors of inks, but this is a really good card that would be fine to use for lots of different things. All right, so now that is all done. I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces and set them aside. I think I'll actually put them back in the envelope that I had so that I keep them for later. Okay, and remember, you can stop this video, you can rewind it, you can replay it, you can pause, all that stuff. The video is here for you to do whatever is best for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, on the front here, I'm going to stamp the 3 trees. I found it the easiest to stamp the dark one first, the dark tree first. And so I'm going to grab the garden green ink and open it up. And then I've got the trees. So I have the outline of the trees, and then I've got the filling of the trees here on a couple of little blocks. So I'm going to start with the outline of the trees, which is the darker one, and I'm going to put it kind of around the middle of the card and eyeballing as close as I can to where the middle of the card is. And then I'll do a second one near it, and then the third one on the other side of it. All right, so I've got the 3. Are they perfect? No. Am I worried about that? No. It's a handmade card. Everyone's just going to think it's a really pretty card, and they're not going to mind. All right, next I'm going to get the pecan pie ink, open that up, and that is what is going to be for the tree part. And what I'm going to do is stamp it off a couple times, and it's so much easier to see where it's going to go, because I already have that outline down. Stamp it off a couple times and place it down. And one more, because we have the 3 trees. There. All right, so the trees have been stamped. And now for the sentiment and the other pieces here. So I'm going to get my white piece that's going to be for the sentiment. And then grabbing the sentiments out of here, which are the peace and joy. So I'm looking for peace and joy. You can have different sentiments on here if you want. That's up to you. It's your card. And the ampersand here. All right, what I like to do to help myself, so I got peace here. And with the ampersand, and I want the flat part up. I've got that and on there. And now the flat part up with the joy. Place the block down. And now it's on the block the way that I want. I'm going to test it out and make sure I'm okay with how it looks. So, opening up the Cherry Cobbler, I'm going to move the card too so I don't accidentally get something on it. I'm going to put it down, see how even it is. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it onto the white because it'll kind of need to dry just a little bit. So I'm going to stamp it down on here so I can get it to be ready to dry a little bit. And I want to be able to see where I'm stamping. Oh my gosh, perfect. All right, see how well that worked? And that is how you just line them up and get them on there really quickly. And now we're going to set that aside, let it dry a little bit using the paper snips. Cut this in half or around half. Kind of get an eyeball of it. All right, and laying them down. So I'm going to have to kind of play with it a little bit before I decide to go ahead and put it down all the way. I've got this piece, and I lay it over, kind of bring it up, see where I want it to be. All right, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to lift up the vellum. And I've got an approximate idea of where I want these to go. I'm going to put some adhesive on, and I'll be able to move them if I'm not happy with where that is. It's okay. Putting this one down here, around there-ish. That's where I wanted it. Let's see if that's about right. Yeah, I think I want them a little bit further apart. See how easy that is to move? Just lift it up. Not a problem. Oh yeah, that is way better. All right, so then this is going to go right up here with some dimensionals. And meanwhile, I need to go ahead and put this down. So where I know it's going to get covered is where I'm going to put the adhesive for the vellum. So I know I'm going to have like the peace and joy right around there. And I can put the adhesive right between to hold down the vellum right where I want it to, and it won't show. All right, so using the dimensionals that I provided for you, or your own if you just want to save those for something else, and you can cut these in half if you want. You don't have to use whole ones, because this is a pretty skinny piece. All right, getting the backing off, and then laying it down. Oops, I want it to go all the way over the green piece there. So you just pick it up and move if you need to. It's okay. Oh yeah, this card is gorgeous, and it's also done. So that's it. How easy is that? Okay, so card number 1. Then you just do it with the second one as well. So there we go. Let's clean our stamps and get ready for the next card.